and go.
Hello, hello. So we're having another editing conversation while we're kind of working on stuff here. It's a little slow, but it's always slow when you got movies you're not interested in, or certain people didn't like. It always goes a little slower, doesn't it?
Yes,
But
it does.
it's like an exam. So we're talking about today the original Predator outfit, the one that John Claude Van Damme wore originally. I've always wondered about this outfit, and my thought process is, and I'm going to be asking those out in the void. Would the Predator would if they used the bug alien from this costume, would it have been as popular as the original, the one that they finally used, which is the iconic, Ya Choi or Yan Jai or whatever the hell they call themselves from the comics? What do
I
you
don't
think?
know. I don't know what they call anything now. There's all this lore. I mean, to me, there was just Predator, and now that there's the bigger predators. I just call them the super predators. Like how in Blade there's the
Yeah.
vampires, and then
Oh
you've got
yeah,
the super
there's
vampires in
predator
Blade Two.
berserkers, there's predator snipers, there's predator ninjas, there's the female predators. Apparently, they're extremely dangerous. And it's just like it's gotten so stupid at this point. I don't deny it. Even the funny thing about this, that costume is now used as lore for the predator. So it's literally become like it's now a part of the lore, which is kind of funny.
But obviously as a different species, right?
It is a different species, yes.
Okay, so
But
um, to answer your question, do I think the movie would have had its longevity had they used that original design? Well,
mhm.
that is very hard to say. I mean, looking purely based on the look of it, it's easy to say no. But if the story had remained unchanged, I mean, it still had a good story. It still had a great cast of characters. The actors were amazing, and we didn't really see much of that thing in action. I mean, what if Jean Claude Van Damme had actually been able to pull off some really cool moves to make that thing look better than it actually does in these still images?
Well, we hear about him, like we hear about it being so exhaustible. We hear about him almost passing out in the outfit. And this was a fit guy, like John Claude. This is before the crack cocaine and all the other drugs that he did. John Claude was high as a fucking kite after a
Yeah,
certain point, and apparently he was a player as well. But let's not talk about John Claude Van Damme. We can, like, that guy's, wow, has a story.
well, well,
Um,
you can't not talk about him. Let's just stick to his physique and his agility because he was very
yeah, no,
flexible. And if
this was an Olympic level fucking kickboxer.
oh
you
yeah,
know, this guy was so fit when he did the Predator, and he was passing out wearing that. That fucking tells you something.
yeah, it does. So that's why I think that I don't know, like maybe if the but based purely on the look, maybe if the costume had been made from lighter material and he would have been able to pull off better stuff. That's there's so many ifs and buts on the subject, but it's really hard to say for sure. But I think
It
the
really is.
the final design, I mean, in addition to being able to move freely, it's still iconic in and of itself. So I'm more leaning towards no, it wouldn't have last. It wouldn't have remained as popular as it did. But it's
See, I actually see that part of me says we would have a different movie franchise. I honestly believe that the iconicness of that outfit, and then I honestly think that we would have a completely different franchise if they had done it in this route. And I think it would have been funny if they had. Like, a part of me actually is surprised. Like, and I also wonder what would have this done to John Claude Van Damme's career, because that's the guy. I know I don't want to go back to him too much, but him leaving that gave him another role, and he got a good role out of, like he did other stuff afterwards. So if
Did
I think it would have stayed more horror, and I think it would have been very xenomorph in the way that, because we didn't know anything about xenomorphs for decades before that crappy all the other crappy movies that came out afterwards. Like we didn't know shit about any of this stuff. It was all fucking dead quiet, which I think is a good way to do it. And I'm always a little sad that we murdered the lore of the Predator.
I'm looking
Like
at you,
all this
Prey.
information. I'm looking at you. Yeah, I am looking at Prey as well. I'm looking at it all. Like I mean, if we had left it very little information and just kind of left it like we've technically ruined the franchise by giving it too much lore. It's too many cooks. It's too many cooks in the kitchen. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think
And
the problem is that audiences want to know everything, but I'm among the few who likes a little mystery.
well, John Carpenter's the thing, for example. Like
Yeah,
he
it's not
he did it
about
right. He did it right. Like it's perfect. He didn't
exactly.
need,
I
even though
agree.
there's a video game out there. Yeah, even though there's a video game out there and a couple comics, it's dead quiet. You don't know much. Like you don't need to know much. It's an alien something. It's that H.P. Lovecraft. One of the best horror writers of all time. You
That's the
know,
thing. If you watch the thing and you come out of it asking, why is this alien look? Why does it do what it does? Why does it look like that? Why is it? This movie makes no sense for that. You're watching the movie for the wrong. You're not getting the. I'm having a stroke over here. You are missing the point entirely. It's not about the alien. It's about these guys surviving and having to deal with a very, very bad situation, and they don't know what they're up against. That's the point.
exactly. Like the best you get from it, is the fact that that every cell has a survival instinct. That's the best you get from it, and that's all you need. Like the predator hunts, the xenomorphs kill. It's horrible in a way. Like if you actually
Yeah.
think about it, it is it. So I think personally, the iconic suit hurt, and hurt. It made the franchise awesome and made the franchise crap at the same time. And I think as much as the Easter egg of the that Easter egg of the alien makes it even worse, because we kind of didn't need that.
I disagree.
And
I I think that the design helped it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have gotten Predator 2, which you, in the extreme minority, think is the better film. However, I think it's the people who ruined it because, like I said, the first two movies were hardcore action films. They were not, and I'm gonna phrase it this way: they weren't geek movies. They weren't. Now they're being treated like superhero blockbusters. It's all about spectacle, not about the horror and the survival and the predator being this creature that's luring its prize, its prize
yeah,
trophy.
I don't see. That's the thing. I think to a point, the lore needed to stop, and it's the Star Wars. It's the Star Wars kerfuffle. The more we put in the Star Wars universe, like at least from not like the new stuff that's coming out, the worse Star Wars looks. Like it's I've heard people say, "Well, I can just go back to the original trilogy. I don't need to watch the new stuff anymore." And I'm like, "Well, how can you live with the fact that like I was saying to somebody once, I was kind of like after watching New Hope. We were watching New Hope recently. I was like, "Oh yeah, this happens. This happens. Ain't it great to know Luke Skywalker?" And the guy's just getting so mad. I could hear the frothingness in his voice, and it was just like it's just how it is. Like you've got this. Like, oh yeah, that's Metachlorians. It You had a perfect trilogy. Like this is why I say don't touch Back to the Future. For the love of God, don't touch Back to the Future. It is actually better now because Back to the Future isn't what it is. And I think it's personally is because Michael J. Fox can't do the show, can't do the movie. And I think that's the only reason we're not going to get another Back to the Future. Thank goodness, in a way that Michael J. Fox can't do this movie. Yeah, like other than some comics, a couple TV shows, and a couple Telltale games, it has been into the general population. It is only three movies. Yeah, but that was only because of 2016. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Ghostbusters 2016 is nowhere near as no. Let's be honest. Afterlife wouldn't be as good if it wasn't for the fact that you had a shitty fucking movie reboot that was so goddamn fucking bad and so goddamn hated among the Ghostbuster fan base. Like even the hardcore diehard fans are like, like the diehard fans don't want it, the hardcore fans don't want it, and like I said, a lot of us were hoping for that Ghostbuster Extreme. A lot of us were hoping for a new fresh blood for Ghostbusters, the passing of the torch, the mythical passing of the torch, which has never ever fundamentally worked in any fucking movie so far. I have never seen a passing of the torch done right. Uh, in history, it just doesn't work because we like our familiar, we like our member berries, and I remember, and I think actually as much as the new if we had that other costume because it looks so bug like, and I think it would have went more horror like. We might have still got a two. We might have still got a two, but it wouldn't have been. I think we would have got a two, maybe a Predator three, and I think the franchise would have ended. I think they would have. I think they would have led heavier into horror, which in a way might have worked because as much as horror movies are bad, they're in their own color of space. That's the best way to put it. They're in their own place in existence. That and the fact they made the Predator, as much as they made the Predator, the Predator is more intimidating in that movie than I think in any movie I've ever seen. For like yeah. Oh, it's actually terrifying, and I think it's more terrifying in a way. The way it hunts and fought with Danny Glover. Yeah, like for one, okay. Also, I gotta say something. Danny Glover, I absolutely love as an actor. Um, and the funny thing is I don't like Lethal Weapon, but I do like him as an actor. Um, it's it's terrifying. Like this thing is like whispering to you. And you know what? If we would have had that design, that would have been more terrifying. I would have been more terrifying. I kind of like the idea of them just being dropped. You know what? Here's how I figure if you're going to do this. Like this is a little hypothetical. The way I would do the Predators is say that this is an alien force. This is basically what they send out before they do the invasion. And these things have their own mentality, their own thought process, and their own operation. There you go. You don't need to know anything else about the Predator, just that that's what this is. It would have been fine. Hmm. Mhm, mhm. No, it's that's actually part of the face. That's actually the face. That's the other reason. It was the other reason it looked too fake. Yeah. No, no. Of course. Well, that's what I've been told. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, that's supposed to be its actual face. It's a giant insect, and you know what? It worked because you know what? A lot of people don't understand that there's something called Starship Troopers. That shit fucking put insects in a way that has never put insects, and it's one of the best. It's still to this day, not the movies, the original book, still to this day amazing. I and it's very well done. You don't you get almost a first hand soldier account, but anyway, that's not what we're talking about. This movie, yeah, it didn't shoot well. It didn't shoot well, and it wasn't iconic. Like I said, it would have been a different movie, right? Like it would have been a different movie. And yeah, well, that's what they're saying, that he was having a hard time in it, and like they put you in these harnesses and shit. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like this is why me and Dark love visual work. Like we will fucking hate CG to our dying fucking day. And then when they put us in the virtual world, we'll be like, God damn it, even this doesn't look good when when our brains are uploaded to the machine. Uh to the machine. No, no, no. I think we're going I have no mouth, but I must scream society, as the future is going. Um we are a part, like, it's CG. Like, you don't have the same blood, sweat, and tears. You don't have guys where the giant T-Rex almost eats a motherfucker. Not as in they eat someone fake. The giant T-Rex, as in the suit almost collapses on somebody, or fucking a guy wearing a fucking outfit, like RoboCop, for example, like the original RoboCop outfit. These type of costumes, they are brutal. Like the guy, like Legends Tim Curry. When Tim Curry wore the Legend outfit, that was hard to wear. I could only imagine how bad it was. Like I've always wanted to ask. I wish we actually had more interviews where we actually talked about that in his career, like that in particular. I hope someone does that before he finally kicks the bucket. It's brutal. Like you can see the image of John Claude Van Damme wearing that helmet and having the mask on, and you just look how exhausted he looks. Like there's that picture. He looks exhausted. He looks absolutely fucking burned. But that's our thoughts on that. I honestly, write down in your comments what you think. Do you think that we are right, that this is going to be something that would hit that point, or is it something that uh something that actually would it be a different movie series? Would it actually have turned into a horror movie and then it had bad things like the Hellraiser series? Who knows? And thank you, everybody. You never know. Yo. Yeah. Yeah, Mary Sue and the Magical Flower. Yeah, I agree. We're gonna have to do Prey one of these fucking days, and I really, really don't want to buy the DVD to do that. All right, thank you, everybody. Like, subscribe, and I really hope we never have to do Prey. Prey sucks.